Good afternoon, Monday, the 27th of January 2025. The power is on in Cavan Town, but some of the housing estates and some of the houses have no water. It appears that the pumps for pumping the water are out of action. You would imagine that a generator would get them going, but I'm not sure. They probably need special electricians. It's dangerous work. I know that Rahaley Park, beside Lidl's in Cavan there, has no water. And they're out of it for a while. Kingscourt got the power on yesterday evening, the 26th, but the water was getting weaker there. It comes from Irvy Lake. I think the Cavan water supply comes from Behy Lake, as far as I know. They usually pick a lake that's on a higher level than the most of the customers. So that's a problem. I was on Butler's Bridge yesterday and it's all black. It's all out as of 8 o'clock yesterday evening, the 26th. Butler's Bridge in Cavan. And the Bisto, Murph's Bisto, is shut. All of Ballygem stuff is without power. Big scope of it is without power. The Royal Bar is closed. It has no water and no power. The Lavy Inn in Cavan has, it's serving meals. You get a meal there. It has a generator, no power, at Lavy Lake there in Cavan. It has no water. And that means that the toilets are severely restricted. I mean, they have to draw some water in with a tractor. That's the situation in Lavy. I don't know the situation in Nobber, County Meath, and I can report later on the Kingscourt situation. Now, at my farm, I'm away from it today, I think it's off. I think there's no power. I'm not stuck for water. I have all that on tap, everything. But it's nice to have the electricity, but I have a generator. Tier worker is completely out. Definitely out for power. Not sure for water. I'd say I not have Wi-Fi on the farm for a long time. The wires are all down. So it's a mixed bag in the northeast, and I'd like you to report underneath what the situation is in your area. Just give the location. In Clark's Superstore in Cavan, they're selling generators to beat the band. Big ones and small inverter type generators. It would be better if these things were bought in the cold light of day and properly wired in and all. But sure, that's the way it is. I'll deal with generators separately. But the moment they do need them for basic stuff, like the electric blanket, I presume, and for running the oil heating. And the gas heating in Kingscourt will not work because it needs electricity to work. Now, anyone who has a gas cooker, a lot of the big gas cookers, I don't like naming them because I'm not too well up on them, the big black cookers like the Agus Longo and all those, the ones now that would have been the Rayburn way back, they have all gas rings. When you go to light them, they won't light because there's no electricity. But you can light them with a match. Understand, you can light them with a match. One family thought they had no gas, and I said, try a match, and the match worked, and they rang me back. God, you're a genius altogether. Don't assume, because if you hear a hiss of the gas, it'll light with a match, or a lighter, or whatever you have. Be careful, just light it immediately, you turn it on, and turn it off again safely afterwards. Now, water is sold out. Lidl's in Cavan, all the supermarkets and all the shops are sold out of the 5-litre bottle of Ishka water. You know the water you buy, usually get it for €2. They're sold out. You can get a little bit of the 2-litre bottles. So if you have water, get a couple of bottles and save it. If you have those bottles, those plastic see-through bottles, save a few bottles. Because you don't know when it'll run out. It might be rationed in various areas. So I hope that's a help. Watch driving. The street lighting is not in place in many places, and it makes driving very difficult at night. So I'm going leaving for the farm now. I'm going to be gone now in a few minutes when I get a cuppa, and I have a few messages done, and get over there before dark, because it's horrible driving. It's at the awkward junctions, like roundabouts. That's where you have the problem. It's not on the ordinary road, because you wouldn't have lighting there anyway. One particular big shop of farm equipment and stores and everything I was looking for the power steering fluid, the red power steering fluid, and I couldn't find it. Turns out they have it behind the counter. And when I suggested that was because people were robbing it and walking off, the shop boy didn't say yes, I or no, but he smiled. They're robbing the stuff out of the shops. A lot of those shops that have stuff on display have people walking out, and a big job with staff is watching people stealing, trying to stop it. That's basically the situation now with it. It's causing hardship, all right. I hope farmers are finding a way to bring water to their cattle. If you don't have water yourself and a neighbour has a tap of a water scheme or whatever, and I don't know how the group water schemes are doing, get a transport box. All you need is a power transport box, and tilt it up and get it full up of water and bring it down, and it'll keep them going. Don't leave them without water. It's a terrible thing to have to do. Letting them out is not easy. There's plenty of water, but getting them back in can be a job. So you might have to tomorrow dedicate a couple of helpers and let out 4 at a time and put them in and out and in and out. You'll bring them in with a wee bit of meal. Don't feed meal while you have this drought of water. There's plenty of fuel, and that's the big plus. Without diesel and petrol, we'd be banjaxed. And that's the big thing. We should appreciate those fuels. Those fuels are a gift. So that's the story. I'd say the lack of electric blankets is causing people a lot of hardship, especially older people, when they're used to them. Crubany School appears to be closed. A lot of schools are closed, and like the pubs and everything else, you see, to run a pub you need toilets. If you have no water, you can't run them. You need a way of tapping the credit card, and in the Lavie Inn that is working, and in some other places that is working. Some other places it's not. So that's the second problem, the debit card. So and the next is the electricity then that's needed for lighting. And the generator does not fix the water problem. And as I say again, if you have gas, public gas or any kind of gas, it won't work without electricity. So I saw a lot of people buying small inverter generators. I'd say they're low power, and I'd say they'll be used to get the oil heating going and the gas heating going. I don't think they'd milk, but they do for the basics. And I believe I don't know, are there any cautions on the radio, but when you connect them, it's a tricky job. You really want to take out disconnect the main supply. And by right, you'd want to put a bulb on the main supply so you know when it comes back. It's something that I would ask the electricity companies to give advice on. Put it on the television or give advice. Just don't leave people with their own devices. Needless to say, we should look in on neighbours, and I do, and not bag of sticks here and there. Right, that'll do for now, folks. It will come back again, but I'm told that in Ballyjam stuff, the electricity company has told them it'll be the 4th of February, at least, before they can turn back on the water. No, not the water. The electricity. It'll be the 4th of February until the electricity can be turned on. And I know of a farmer who had terrible damage. No more than myself, slates are gone. And it's wet, making it worse. Part of the roof blew off a sheep shed, and part of the roof blew off a cattle shed. And I came across a nice little outhouse there today, and the wind blowing off it. It was severe wind. Is that enough? That's all I can tell you. The trees are all cut, they're all gone, they're all fixed and all that. And hopefully, I heard someone said there was a death up in Donegal. If that's the case, I'm very sorry. Condolences to his people or whoever it was. 10 minutes, folks. Yeah, for those who are not in Ireland, we had a terrible storm, all right. And there were people killed in Scotland, I think, too, with trees coming down. So keeping people off the road in the early morning, Friday morning of the 24th was a good idea, a very good idea. There probably is one or two people alive that will be dead. I'd say that's reasonable to assume. Anyway, God keep you all safe. I have to get back to work. We'll see you. It's hard on body and soul, but it keeps us going at the same time. And the weather, although it's wet, it's not too cold. I heard someone say today it's -10 in Ukraine. Imagine trying to cope with that. Anyway, folks, we'll see you back. Comment underneath, make your comments sensible and wise, that we can understand them. And if you're criticising something, I say it's not enough to say you're talking nonsense. You have to say why I'm talking nonsense. You have to say this is where you're wrong. Otherwise, I'll soon be starting to delete nonsensical posts. And look at your posts before you post them and make sure that they're right, that they make horse sense. Good luck, folks. We'll see you back. Thank you.